Hi everyone, thank you for joining us as we learn more about Blackboard Ultra. Today's workshop will be focused on an introduction to Ultra navigation and adding course content. As a reminder, as we continue to conduct these workshops, there is no hard deadline for switching over to Ultra. We are hoping that these training sessions will allow you to become more comfortable with the new interface, but starting in the summer and fall, you will still have the option to choose whether to go to Ultra or stay in the original course view. So with that being said, I will switch over to our agenda. And for today's session, I first want to provide a brief recap on some of the UBN or Ultra-based navigation features that may be valuable to you all, such as setting those notification preferences in the activity stream and searching for courses from past semesters. Next on our agenda, we will be discussing the basics of Ultra navigation, such as reviewing the different toolbars and icons. And then lastly, we'll review the basics of adding course content, such as learning the course content navigation icons, learning where to put content, and so on. This workshop has also been modified to include only the basics of course content, as we will have other sessions in the future that are focused on more advanced building of course content. So let's get started. I will now share with you all my Blackboard screen. So I first want to remind us all how we can change these notification preferences within the UBN activity stream. So when you first log into Blackboard, you will want to look to this left-hand menu and click on the Activity Stream tab. This will bring you to this page where you will locate this little gear icon in the upper right-hand corner. If I click on that gear, a notification setting pull-out window appears, and here's where I can check and uncheck certain notifications that I want and do not want to appear on my stream. For example, if I uncheck these, I will no longer receive notifications on my stream about any of this activity. Same thing goes with the mail icon. You can uncheck and check what you want to receive, and then with the push notification or the little bell, you can decide what content or notifications you want to see. This will minimize the amount of notifications you receive, and you can customize that to your liking. Students can do this as well. Once you are done with your notifications, be sure to click on the Save button in the lower right-hand corner. This will save your preferences. The second part of the UBN menu that I wanted to review was how you could search for a course in the Courses tab. So I'm over here in the left-hand menu, and I'm just going to click on this Courses tab. Here, you may have a lot of courses, which is why the Search Your Courses navigation bar is helpful. You will see the little magnifying glass, and you can click right in there. So say, for example, I have a course from fall 2020 that I want to view. I could simply type in 2020, the year of the semester, and then if it was fall FA or spring SP. You'll see that it has already narrowed down my courses. So this is a way to easily filter your courses and only see the ones that you are looking for. This may be a helpful tool for those of you who have a lot of courses and want to find other semesters quickly. So now let's move on to navigation within an actual Ultra course. When I click on an Ultra course, you will see that I am brought to this main page. You will have one toolbar on the left called Details and Actions, and then you will also have another toolbar in the upper right with different navigation icons. In today's workshop, I want to briefly review each of these options with you in both toolbars so that you are able to successfully navigate through your course. So I first want to direct our attention to the Details and Actions toolbar. This toolbar is the same for all courses and cannot be customized. This menu is for course actions and more details. So for example, our first tab is the roster. You will notice that when I mouse over this, my arrow turns into a little hand. This shows me that this detail and action is clickable. So if I click on the roster, a new pull-out window is brought up. Here you will notice that the roster displays all of the students' names and other instructors as well. You can sort this view by either using the grid view or the list. To the right, you can also filter by all members, instructors, and students. This is helpful for seeing everyone that is enrolled in a course. You will also notice that in Blackboard Ultra, whenever you want to close out of something, you will see a little blue X. If I click on this X, it will close that window and bring me back to my home page, which is the course content page. The next option we have in our toolbar is the course groups. If I click on this tab, I will then be able to create groups that students are assigned to and can collaborate within. You can name a group up here. You can customize what students, if you want to group the students in a custom way, and then you can assign students to these groups. You will also notice that there is a little purple plus sign where you can add new groups. And again, always remember to click Save at the bottom whenever you are done completing an action in Blackboard Ultra. Next on our toolbar is this Course is Private option. You will want to leave this as it is, but just be aware that you may have an option that either says that the course is private or the course is open. When the course is open, students can access the course. When the course is private, that means students cannot access this course. Next, we have Blackboard Collaborate. This tool will be discussed more in future workshops, such as our Ultra Communications Tools workshop, but just be aware that this is now where the new Collaborate tool is located. Next, we have the Attendance toolbar, or tool. The Attendance option allows you to set up an attendance column in your Ultra gradebook. You can mark students either present, late, absent, or excused. If you want to use this function, you may, but if you do not, that is fine as well. Next, we have the announcements, which are also discussed in our Ultra Communications Tools workshop. But if you click on announcements, this is where you and your students can view every single announcement that has been posted. Our next option is the books and tools. If I click here, this will bring up any tools or books that have been added to this Ultra course. Again, I can hit on this little blue X to close out any other pop-out windows. Our next option in this toolbar is the question banks. If I click on Manage Banks, I will be brought to a page that allows me to import question banks from other courses. In order to do so, you can look to the upper right to find this plus sign. If I click on the plus sign, this will open a new tab that allows me to import a question bank. Lastly, we have the student preview located here. If you want to enter the student preview, you may do so by clicking on Enter Student Preview Mode. It will ask you if you want to start the preview, which you can then click on. And now you'll be able to see what the students see. You will notice that students do not have all of the same tools that you do as an instructor. When you want to exit a student preview, you may look to this little purple icon in the upper right, as well as the three ellipses, the three dots or the ellipses. If you click there, you can exit the preview mode. Our next toolbar is in the upper right-hand corner. You will notice that each icon represents a different page or function. This first one, if you hover over it, tells us that it is course content. The next is the calendar. Then we have discussion boards, the gradebook, messages, and analytics. I will briefly walk us through each of these icons. So our first one is the calendar icon. On the calendar, you can toggle between schedule and due dates to see a different view. And you can also toggle between the day and the month view in the right-hand corner. This just provides a different course view for each specific course calendar. And remember that when you are in a course, this calendar only represents that specific course. If you look to the upper right-hand corner, you will see a little plus sign that allows you to add an event, course schedule, or office hours. You can also refer to our UBN Part 2 workshop to learn more about adding content to the course calendar. The next icon we have is the discussion board's little bubble in this navigation menu as well. Here is the spot where all of the discussion boards that you create are located. This will be discussed more in our Ultra Communications Tools workshop. Students will also have this option to find discussion boards in this area as well. Next, we have the gradebook, which allows you to quickly view your gradebook, as well as students can do so as well. This gradebook will be discussed in a future workshop that we have as well. Next, we have the Messages tab, which allows you to see messages between students and instructors, and this will also be discussed in our communications workshop. Lastly, we have the little pie chart, which represents analytics. On this page, you can run a report, if you look down here, on certain assessments or assignments that you have created. Another important thing to note is that when you want to change pages, or if you want to go back to the home page, make sure you do not click this little X, as that will bring you all the way back to the main menu. But rather, if you want to go back to course content, click on the first one, and this will change pages. You will see which page you are on based on this little purple line underneath. If I switch to a different tab, the purple line will change. This helps you navigate the course and understand which page you are currently on. So now that we have covered the basic navigational toolbars, we will now discuss your options for adding course content and also talk about some navigation icons within this course content section as well. So let's get started. Before we talk about actually adding content, I do want to direct our attention to 4 important icons that you will want to remember when you are building content. The first is all the way over to the right, which is this little drop-down arrow. This arrow allows you to collapse and expand any folder on this page. The next option you have is the ellipses or 3 dots. This represents more options in Blackboard Ultra. If you click on that, you will have the option to edit or delete. This is important because if you need to edit or delete anything, you will have to look for that Options tab to open that section. The next function that you'll want to look for or tool is the up and down directional arrows. These arrows allow you to move content around in your course, which I will demonstrate a little bit later. The last icon in this section that you will want to be aware of is the little purple plus sign. Whenever you see the plus sign within the course content page, you will want to be aware that you can add something there. So if I click on the plus sign, there are a variety of options that I am able to then click on. So now let's talk about actually adding in course content and the basics of that. So you will first want to understand that in Blackboard Ultra, you'll be given a shell that you will be able to build your course within. You will most likely have a coursework folder, which is where you will then add all of your weekly, unit, or module folders. However, once you are 2 tiers in of folders, you're not able to add another folder. So for example, if I click on Week 1 folder and I go to add something, you will notice that there is no folder option. That is because I am already 2 tiers in and I cannot add another folder. And this is for organizational purposes. So when you are building course content, you will want to be sure to open the folder you want to add something to. So say, for example, I want to add something to Unit 1 folder. I can click on there, and then I can click on the purple plus sign that appears to add something. When I click Create, I am given these options. Create allows you to create a completely new item, which I will discuss in a little bit on the different options you have. Then you have the Copy Content option, which just allows you to copy. You can upload from your computer. You then have the Content Market, which allows you to pull from third-party publishers. And then you have the Cloud Storage if you want to link up your Google Drive or other cloud storage accounts. And then lastly, you can have access to the Content Collection, which is basically a collection of items from other Blackboard sources or courses that you may have. So let's get started on understanding some of these icons that you have and what they represent when you are building course content. You'll first notice the document icon. This icon allows you to add in content, multimedia, perhaps instructions, and so on. But something to be aware of is that if you create a document, students cannot upload or submit to this. Same thing goes with the link. If you create a link, this shoots out to or attaches to a URL. However, if you want the students to submit something, they won't be able to through a link. They have to use either the test or assignment icons. So then we also have teaching tools with the LTI connection and then these content packages. So as I was just mentioning, if you want students to submit something, you either need to create a test or an assignment icon. An assignment could be for any type of project, regular assignment, homeworks, etc. A test can be for a test or a quiz that you're creating or an assessment. And these are areas where students can actually contribute to and add their own answers or upload their submissions to. And then you'll also notice that we have the discussion and journal, which are considered participation or an engagement content items. These allow students to contribute as well along with other students. So these are the different icons that you will want to look out for that when you are building content. So for example, if I made a discussion and you see the little speech bubble icon, you will notice that in my course content, I can understand that this is a discussion board based on seeing this little speech bubble. Same thing with this one. This document represents the document icon. So I can know that I can't submit to this. This is only a living document that students can read. Then you'll notice the assignment icon. This represents that this is an assignment and that students can upload to it. So whenever you are in an Ultra course, you can then identify what you have built based on looking at those icons. The last thing I wanted to demonstrate is just how you can easily move content around. Like I had said briefly before, when you are navigating through the course content page, you may come across the up and down arrows. This represents that you can move an icon or move an item. So for example, if I want to move this discussion board item, I can hover over it to see that it's turning gray. I can then click on the up and down arrow and you will see that it pops up. Now I will just drag and drop to where I want it to be located. This may take some practice, but it essentially is just a drag and drop system, so you can navigate through your course and decide where you want everything to be located and organized. And that is all the content I have for today's workshop. As I had mentioned before, this is only the basics of course content. There's a lot more that we are going to be diving deeper into in our upcoming workshops, so definitely be on the lookout for those. But I do appreciate you joining and tuning in to learn more about Blackboard Ultra and the basics of navigation and course design. Thank you.